Hey guys, welcome back to We Watched Movie. I am Mike. This is my spoiler-free review of The Monkey and why it's my favorite film of the year so far and why I think I may have been in the theater with a racist seeing eye dog. More on that later. First off, I'm an Osgood Perkins guy. I love The Black Coat's Daughter, watched it blind, and it completely me up. I mean, I loved it. I love long legs. I just like the cut of the guy's jib. I really do. I like the way his movies look and feel. Even though he's used a couple cinematographers, starting with Julie Kirkland on the first couple films, now working with Mac Fiskins on both Long Legs and The Monkey, I love the way his films look and feel. They have a Fincher-esque purpose to them that I really enjoy, and that's what The Monkey feels like. It feels like if David Fincher directed a splatterhouse horror film, and that's just right up my alley. Why'd I do that? I don't know. The way the kills pop off in bunches with zero regard for their surroundings and characters that are unabashedly themselves with zero fuck for the word normal. The Monkey's like a true punk rock album that looks like a symphony and moves like a true David Fincher film. That's the last time I'll make that comparison, I swear to God. But I think it's also one of Stephen King's best adaptations out there. And even though the story, if you read the short story, read it one day on the toilet, no big deal, I'm a scholar. But I read the short story, and the only thing these two really have in common is the fact that these two kids' dad owned a toy monkey that happened to cause, every time the key was turned, happened to cause a horrible murder, a horrifically awful, disgusting murder to someone that they loved or someone around them in their lives or just around them, and the fact that they tried to get rid of it and could not. And after that, the comparisons to the short story sort of end, other than it's got a father and a son story in there as well. But for the most part, this is mostly Osgood Perkins' own vehicle. And man, does he drive it to fucktown. But it does have some Stephen King movie vibe feels to it. Like, for instance, the way that Theo James, the main character in the movie, narrates the entire thing, it kind of gives it a Stand By Me-ish kind of Stephen King feel, which is palpable, I feel like. But the main thing to remember about this movie is that it is a comedy. You got to remember that going in. I mean, it gets silly in a way, and not in the same way that Hard Eyes got silly. You know, Hard Eyes got silly and it felt like it was just a silly replica of 1,000 things that had come before. There's really no other movie like The Monkey to compare it to. It is a horror comedy, but there's no real like horror comedy like it, I feel like, because it maintains its darkness through all of its silly, dumb shit that it does. The way it's so just mean in its horror and its sharp cuts to brutal deaths. I mean, it's unashamedly murdering people by the bucketful and laughing its sick fucking ass off about it. And I think there's going to be some baby back bitches like this guy who complain about that sort of thing in the movie, but also it's a horror film and it's not that serious. And especially when you look at Osgood Perkins' life, at least when it comes to his parents, he's the son of Anthony Perkins, Norman Bates in Psycho, who unfortunately his relationship with his mother and women kind of mirrored some of the things that were going on in that movie if you look all that story up. But his dad, Anthony Perkins, died of AIDS in 1992. And then 9 years later, his mother died because she was on one of the flights that hit the Twin Towers in 9/11, one of the hijacked airplanes that hit the Twin Towers. That's how he lost both of his parents, and I'm sure he has a strange relation. This is just me totally looking way too far into things, but that's kind of one of the themes of the movie, is it's taking a look at the tragedy of death and how fucked up it is, but also kind of laughing at it and just accepting it, that we're going to die, and we could die at any moment, or we could die painfully, or we could die easily, and it just takes a really like unashamed look into that abyss and just kind of has a good time in it and says, fuck it, let's dance, literally. There's something cathartic in that if you wanted to look deeper into it, but it's just a wild-ass horror movie if you don't. And I enjoyed both. The entire theater I was in was laughing, like uncomfortably laughing the entire time, because it's just like, fuck you, we're going to explode a body now in your mouth hole. And it's wild. It's fun. I enjoyed it. I'm sick in the fucking head. So are you. There's a great opening scene in the movie, which you love in a horror film. There's some fun cameos that you didn't expect. Rowan Campbell's in this movie. We did know that. He's on the IMDb and all that. But and Rowan Campbell is Corey. Oh, like the Match from Halloween Ends. But, you know, and again, I like that guy as an actor. I thought he caught so much shit for something that wasn't his fault with Halloween Ends. And unfortunately, I think he's going to be a hit or miss character for people in this movie, too. If I had to compare his character to anything, it would be the party cop from Cabin Fever. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. You guys going to party? Because I love to party. Again, I really hope that guy gets a universally beloved role pretty soon. I don't think this one will be that one. But still, yeah, I mean, the acting is fun in it. The actors are fun in it. The story is fun. It moves so fast, and it's just an entertaining ass movie that, again, feels like no other movie I've ever seen in my life. And it's both mean and funny and gross at the same time. When you have a movie like this that has kill after kill after kill after kill, like the kill count, Dead Meat's gonna have a blast with this one. but like there's so many deaths, so many awesome death scenes, so many original death scenes, shit you would have never thought of. But in the second half of the movie, when things get kind of silly and go crazy, there is a couple moments of like, you know, holy shit, that was a lot of CG blood right there, which is surprising in a Perkins film because he's usually seems so particular about the things that he does, but it's just happening at such a high rate and happening so fast and so much, it's hard to really take points off for it, because for every death that kind of looks a little silly, there's probably 10 that look really good. At the end of the day, I give the movie a 9 out of 10. I thought it had just enough of everything. And again, just one more time, it feels like nothing else I've ever seen before, and had the entire audience. By the way, I think it's going to do pretty well. I haven't seen an audience that busy for a Thursday night horror movie in a while. And I just love what Neon's doing. I love the ballsiness of this. Hollywood needs more movies like this, for sure. And I love it, man. I love it. And my favorite thing about this, by the way, is that Osgood Perkins came on to the horror scene and is like, okay, this is the slow burn. It's going to be really slow. It's going to be really A24 super artsy type of films. And then starting a little bit with Long Legs and then full on going crazy with this one, he was like, watch this. I can make a beautiful, amazing to look at film that's well acted and has all these things, but I can also just make it splatterpunk fun and fucking entertaining too. And I think he really flexed some muscles in this in a really fun way and proved he's a versatile dude. And I loved it. I had a blast with it. I love it when someone can be like, hey, watch me not take myself so fucking seriously. I can have fun too, bitches. Pop open a Corona and let's take our pants off and see where this goes. I don't know where that came from, but it could happen too. Let's have birthday cake off each other's genitals. Why do I say these things with my mouth? Seeing eye, racist seeing eye dog. Speaking of things you say with your mouth. So we're sitting in the theater, speaking of a packed audience. It's a 9 out of 10 for me, by the way. Love this movie. It's a 9 out of 10. But it's probably a strong contender for one of my favorite movies of the year. There's a CNI dog. I don't know if it's CNI or like what, but it's someone's dog. And they probably have a good reason for having a dog in the movie theater, I would assume. But then in the front, we're sitting in the row behind him. The entire movie, dog doesn't make a noise. You hear it shake every once in a while. It's like, oh, it's a good boy. And then you watch someone explode on the screen. But these people, fucking, I don't understand people. They show up with 20 minutes left in the movie. They just show up randomly. And they walk in, and the dude had his hood over his head. And was with a girl, and I guess they were with a group that was back there, because these people in the back kept running back and forth, like leaving through the movie like 10 times. It was so fucking annoying. And I think it was like a game, they were doing a relay race or some shit, I don't fucking know. But the dude shows up, and the guy's a black guy, and he has his hood up over his head. So at first I thought it's just a hood situation, because when he walks in, the dog starts barking in the middle of the theater. And the dude literally stops with his soda and goes, what the fuck? Because the dog starts barking and is like ready to go after him. So he goes up and leaves, and we think, oh, it's probably just the hood. About 3 minutes later, a black dude shows up on screen, and the dog started barking again. The evidence is right there. What the fuck is that dog's problem? And someone needs to have a conversation with it, because it didn't bark at anyone one time throughout the movie until that guy. And then that guy. Talk to your dogs, people. It's a PSA. Hey, Monkeys 9 out of 10. We'll see you guys live tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for watching this video. If you'd like more reviews and all your updates on all your horror movies, click that subscribe button and get some goddamn wham up in you. Love your fucking faces. Hope you guys have a great day.